Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Harakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great most in the real world, and shalom to all the brothers doing like sharing truth. I found this article talking about these digital currencies because it's been a thing. It's been a thing for a while. It's been getting used in China. They've probably got the biggest scale introduction of it, and it's kind of for them. It's linked to their what's it called? The Weibo, WeChat, Alipay, and WeChat, WePay, I think it's called, which are all like linked into your phone, and it will be linked to like your your government ID and these things. So it's all linked in to all kind of be in one spot. So when you're what do you call it? Doing your payments, it's when you have the digital currency, it's all going to be tied, all going to be tracked. All your details are basically going to be in one place. And this is obviously what it's like with crypto. When you had all these different cryptocurrencies pushed out, they all had it kind of. They were all saying when you had the cryptocurrencies pushed out, they were all saying they're basically what do you call it? About being decentralized, about separating off. But obviously, for the elites, they're wanting it all centralized, all essentially to be under control, and then tied to moving into the mark, basically moving into the Karagma, that implantable chip, basically moving it to where all your details are going to be in one spot. So this is on being in Bloomberg. So central bank digital money risks being an expensive failure. I wonder why. So as a central bank issued digital currencies run the risk of turning into a costly waste of time, according to the Centre for European Reform. Europe, one of the most advanced economies considering the initiative, should instead use regulation to make payments cheaper and more competitive. The London-based think tank said Tuesday in a report. It warned that the costs, benefits, and privacy incentives of so-called central bank digital currencies are unlikely to be sufficient to entice customers to use it. Yeah. So it's saying it can't compete. It's funny because the things it says it's like when you get you get to the mark where it's made mandatory. It's made mandatory. It kind of goes against what they're saying here, because it says without widespread adoption, a CBDC will be an expensive failure and will do little to advance central bank goals. Yeah, so it's basically saying it needs to be, adopted by everyone, and that's done what through force. Making it mandatory for it to be effective. Because it's just like with with currency now, they basically want to be able to manipulate them. Them being able to print currency and whatnot allows them to manipulate. How the economy shifts, and be able to counterbalance certain things. And this is what senior research fellow Zach Myers said. The EU shouldn't be distracted by the prospect of a digital euro, which may sound impressive and exciting, but may give Europeans few benefits they can't enjoy already. The payment initiative is being explored in around 100 countries across the globe, with backers touting various advantages, from boosting financial inclusion to lowering the cost of economic payments. Yeah, so the inclusion is a big one they kind of use, and that's the kind of angle they're pushing it from. Like, we go digital. It makes everyone, despite fucking granny that still goes to the ATM. I'm a fucking American. Still goes to the cash point, to get out her a fucking £55 a week pension. Like she ain't gonna be able to utilize no digital currency, but it's about the Karagma anyway, and it's focused on who they even want around afterwards. the people that are gonna integrate, people that are gonna assimilate into it. What the fuck is this shit, man? God damn. Like literally right up front. Fucking hell. So it says pioneers like the Bahamas, and Nigeria have already started allowing the public to use CBDCs, and policymakers in Europe say they will ensure that a future digital euro would be attractive enough to not to be swept aside by other private means of payments. Yeah, so they're looking into that digital currency, and go to the World Economic Forum, and what these men saying? This is the like part of their agenda. What was it was called what? The 6 themes at Davos 2022 that will define what happens next. And then what? The 6th one is what? Our future is digital. Technology carefully executed could act as a multiplier to address multiple challenges simultaneously, from reducing poverty to stopping climate change, as a first movers coalition is working to do by commercializing emerging clean technologies. But to get there, digital inclusion and security and appropriate regulation are essential. Digital inclusion, everyone needs to be in on that new digital age, what they call it, the new second industrial revolution, the third, I can't remember which one it is. But they call it I think it's the second industrial revolution, of where humanity and technology combine. So it says digital inclusion, security, and appropriate regulation are essential. Leaders at Davos 2022 discussed that this future might what this future might look like, and launched several exciting initiatives to advance both technology and trust in it. Our future is digital. If you're not part of it, you're out of it, the administrator of the UN Development Programme, Achim Steiner, told the Forum's Meet the Leader podcast. To foster digital inclusion, the Edison Alliance, a forum initiative that aims to increase affordable digital access to healthcare, finance, and education, launched a digital policy navigator. This will provide policymakers, regulators, and businesses with a one-stop shop for case studies, best practices, and other one-of-a-kind resources. So yeah, it's these guys, it's on a global scale. They're basically, pushing everyone towards. And said the metaverse as well. Yeah, the metaverse as well. That's something that is one of the top buzzwords. It's in everyone's mouth right now. And said Nick Clegg. Fuck yeah, now. Is that where that man went? Yeah, it says the metaverse mustn't be shaped by tech companies on their own. It needs to be developed openly with a spirit of cooperation between the private sector, lawmakers, civil society, academia, and the people who use these technologies. Yeah, bringing everyone together, all into the same mind. Under the beast, man. It's funny as hell. Funny as hell. Read this first. Psalm 64 and 1. It says, "Hear my voice, O Most High, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not." Yeah, these guys are they're in dark, they're in private, they're hidden. They're not easily located. And what are they doing? They're essentially striving, working for the downfall, for the destruction of Jake, man. That's a key part of it. The key objective of a lot of these things is what? They want to take out Jake. They want to remove the blessing from Jake and take it on themselves. They're looking to hold the kingdom of heaven in their own hands. They're looking to get it for themselves. All these things that they're working and striving for in the dark, you know, it's mystical to those in the world, but that's because why? They they don't know the truth. They don't know the scriptures. They don't know what's coming. They're unaware, man. They're the ignorant masses. They're the guys in the disaster film that are just standing there as as a wave of fire comes. Um, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, "Who shall see them?" And that's really what these guys are doing. These guys are gathered together in forums where you got all these guys from all over the fucking world coming together to talk about world policy. Saying, "Oh, this guy's saying like, oh, XYZ needs to come together and decide what the metaverse is." But then who the fuck are these guys to come together to decide any kind of policy? But that's because why? This ESO gets down. They have these meetings, they have these get-togethers. You had the Bilderbergs recently as well, where you have world leaders come together and decide policy. Then they move in one accord. They move as one. But yeah, Revelation 13 and 16, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Yeah. Basically saying for everyone's going to have to get down with that mark. That's why it's about the technology being spread to everyone, being on a global scale, push. Everyone has access. Everyone's into the banking system. Everyone's into, these different technologies. When the metaverse goes out, it's in a way that everyone can kind of get trapped, their mind trapped into, and they're all going to be, have the same approach, all be drawn into it. Yeah. It says, receive a mark on their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. You're about that mark. Then what? Basically, you're not going to be able to participate, man. Partake. And that's how it's going to be. Everyone's going to, all those systems, it's just going to become normality for the vast majority of these people, man. They're just going to look at it like, yeah, it's just, and they'll be down. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yabba Shem Yashab Shem Shalom.